that you were to tweet out that you think that we should like kill all black people.
Dude, that is ridiculous.
I know,
no.
I have a nuclear question. Ready for all the Squad W guys?
Is this good? Hello. Is this good?
Yes. Are you ready, Train? This is mainly for you, but for anybody else that wants to Squad W out, are you ready for the nuclear question of the night? This is hot lava.
I'm telling you right now, Destiny, you have one warning. If you bring up one topic of consistencies, I'm ending the podcast.
Don't worry, it has nothing to do with bands, okay?
Okay.
Why is it that all the guys that get so fucking mad when girls show fucking cleavage on Twitch and just chatting and whatnot, why didn't you guys ever get mad when there are games with sex in it, like The Witcher and shit, where there are girls with titty?
We don't get mad. Listen.
Wait, that's your response to that one? You don't get mad?
Listen. Here's the common misconception, okay? So so incel, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is a word that's made up by a group of people who are doing the same thing that they claim we're doing, right? It's just a word of discredit. It's a word to jumble us all in. Dude,
I didn't say anything about incel at all.
Yeah, but that's what everyone says on livestream fail everywhere.
Simple question. People talk about just chatting, booby streamers, it's not right for kids, blah, 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 blah. Where was this outrage when like The Witcher 3 has like sex scenes and shit? Or when the South Park The Stick of Truth game came out and there's like sex scenes?
Because we don't care. Because what I preach, I don't give a shit about cleavage. I have people on my podcast that have cleavage. I have people on my podcast. I bring girls on. I hang out with cooking streams. You see that cooking stream with streamers that have cleavage out, and I'm making jokes and hanging out. Like, I have no problem with cleavage or dress code. This is just a go-to for people that don't like me or want to jumble it up in that to cause some sort of bullshit because they're fucking jealous of Squad W's goddamn power. Realistically, all I talk about is, listen, here's all I talk about. It's so simple. It's so fucking simple, okay? Listen, the reason I don't give a fuck if you want to dress however you want. Listen, I have friends that I support very publicly on Twitter, through my cooking streams, through my podcasts, through CSGO. I mean, Fandy is one of them. Fandy is, she's well endowed, appropriately speaking, right? Like realistically speaking, I have never once, if you notice, everyone I've brought on, I have never once seen them play victim and milk the bullshit. Listen, and everyone knows what I'm talking about. You can sit here and say, oh, you can't read my mind. You can't say that, you're misogynist. No, those people are milking it. If you know what you're doing, just understand, just be like, okay, yeah, fuck it, who gives a fuck? Listen, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Wait,
like,
what do you mean by that? I'm just curious.
You know exactly what I mean. I'm not going to fall into this trap. You know exactly what I mean. Like, that's the problem. Like, for example.
I don't know, though. That's why I'm curious.
Listen, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, okay? I'll say it once. When Canute wears his tight spandex and his fucking throbbing ass and cock are showing through, and someone made a comment, hey, your dick's smaller, hey, nice ass, dude. He's not gonna say, you fucking objectifying pig. He's not gonna make a big deal and try and ruin the guy's career over it. Like, sure, is this a small percentage of people? Is it a fraction that's so small that maybe some people don't care about? Fine, but I care about it, right? That's what I talk about. I don't see Canute doing that, and I don't see Fanny doing it. I don't see the other girls I hang out with doing it. There's certain people that are milking that victim card for maximum exposure, manipulating platforms that are meant for actual victims just to gain themselves by using that bullshit. And that's what I talk about. As far as this other misconception of live stream fail, a bunch of fucking simps that clip the same exact person, the same exact thing and think it's content, that they want to call me or my community incels, they can suck my fucking dick. Because here's the facts, okay? Here's the facts. They can call us incels. But at the end of the day, if we're incels, what the fuck are they? Because I'll tell you right now, me and my community are pulling, and I don't mean to put this on a pedestal or make it a race, but hey, listen, we're seeing a lot more pussy than they are. So I don't know what the fuck you call them. Fucking goddamn fucking Smeagol's from the Ring. Okay, so that's the fucking facts, okay? That's what I talk about. And if people can't see that with the people I hang out with and the girls I bring on and the girls I hang out with and the girls that I'm friends with that support me on a daily basis, then hey, that's on them. They can suck my dick. So that's what I have to say to it.
So wait, so you don't have a problem then with any of the just chatting streamers, whatever? You think all of that is cool and is okay on Twitch?
Yeah, that's why That's why I've changed. So there's two things, okay? So one thing, I preach double standards, and I've created another thing which is shameless, right? Now I do things.
What does shameless mean? What does that mean?
Shameless is what I do for X to Y, right? So
wait. Give me more examples of shameless. What does that mean?
Shameless is okay. So when I say 20 subs away from 12,900. Boys, get in there. Twitch Prime, any gifters, any oil princes, that's fucking shameless, right? when I sit there and say, hey, should we do one more episode, boys? I'm feeling kind of tired. I don't know. Maybe it's Twitch Primes. That's shameless, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm curious, like, when you say shameless and refer in regards to like just chatting streamers, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so shameless and referring to that is, in my opinion, there is a level of shamelessness where you're kind of over, for example, if you walk up to 212, my man, hey, Wubby. So in my opinion, shameless is something that I don't mind. I don't think it's wrong, but it's just shameless. So for example, when you walk up to a whiteboard and you purposely position the camera to the ass, you know what you're doing, but you deny it, that's shameless, right? To me, that's shameless. Am I arguing it should be on or off the platform? No, but it's fucking shameless, right? Me X-to-Ying is shameless. So
when you say something is like shameless, the implication is that there ought to be shame there, right? You understand how the word works, right?
No, the implication is...
you would never say like you shamelessly eat your cereal, or like you shamelessly get into the car. So usually you're referring to something you probably should be ashamed about, right?
Yeah, no. The implication is if the person had shame, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you're saying that they ought to be ashamed about some of these things, right?
I think. I don't think it's that. Isn't it about the fact that they don't own what they're doing? Isn't that the shameless part?
They don't what?
They don't own what they're doing.
Yes, that's the shameless part. So I don't think you should be ashamed. Yeah. So thank you, Fitz. Thank God you were here. I don't think you should be ashamed to show your tits. I don't think you should be ashamed to walk in the to the whiteboard. I don't think I should be ashamed of X-to-Ying. The difference is if you own up to what you're doing or not. So if you don't own up, then I think it's fucking shameless that you're playing this card of, oh no, what do you mean I'm doing this, you sexist? That's shameless, right? But if you're like, hey, yeah, I'm doing it, like it is shameless, but I am doing it, like then that's a whole different, does that make sense? So yeah, Fitz is right. Yeah. So
when you say own up to it or like admit to it, what exactly are you admitting to or owning up to? Like just like, oh, I wear clothes that show cleavage, or what else? What do you mean by that?
I like this conversation a lot.
You do?
It's just like
to manipulating dudes.
I'm only asking the questions because like you understand there's like multiple roads that other people
for
go
sure,
down with
100%.
this, where like what you're basically like, because what one person might say, I wouldn't say this, but somebody might say
intentionless effect.
Call somebody shameless. You're saying that somebody is essentially being a prostitute slut on Twitch, and they're shameless about it. They're manipulating guys into donating to them by doing that, and that type of stuff doesn't belong on Twitch. Some people might walk away with that interpretation.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm very, very, very. Almost every Reddit post that I see that's inappropriate, I ban it. And if there's anything that goes too far, I make sure to go on a fucking 20-minute rant that gives me 4 weirds, wrap it up.
Sure, but then you also tweet out stuff like the just chatting section should be the just chatterbait section.
Yeah.
Which implies a little bit more than like, I don't care about it.
In my opinion, like there's an edge on Twitter of humor and seriousness. There's a mix between the two. Like, I understand that your community will make memes of, oh, I'm just kidding, I'm just trolling you. No, that's not the case. I'm not kidding or trolling, but there's a little bit of exaggeration for the humor part of it, right? Of course, the just chatting section isn't 99% fucking chatterbait, right? Everyone knows that. It's just the exaggeration of the small percentage of people that are shameless that we reflect that off of. Like if the people who are actually intelligent get that, laugh at it, move on. The people who are trying their best to prove their intelligence but are actually stupid, they dissect it, look into it, overanalyze it just to make themselves feel better. But when at the end of the day, if they were truly intelligent, they look at it, laugh at it, or not laugh at it and move on. Like, that's just the truth. So if you're over dissecting that tweet, I think that's saying more about you than it is about me. That's my opinion.
Okay. I don't want to push too much harder, but I mean, you get, I don't know, fuck, I thought I saw a tweet earlier about Caseytron, where she was like, or it was some news site where it was like, they complained about like misogyny on Twitch or whatever, and I think your reply was literally like, shut the fuck up.
I said, holy shit, shut the fuck up already.
You don't think that some people might read this with like the wrong kind of message, maybe?
That message was clear. I was saying, stop fucking milking it. It's getting ridiculous. That was my message. Very loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got free now. Okay.
I can't believe. Oh my god, never mind.
What? Say it. Bring it out, Dyrone. What do you got?
I can't believe with just that alone you were able to make Train speak like a 500-word essay about something that I feel like we all already know.
I mean, I have to, because realistically, like, there are people watching that are hoping. Like, for example, the one mistake I made in this entire explanation was one that I'm very lucky Fitz was there to correct, right? People are waiting to clip that. make a hate thread on it in different community Reddits. They're waiting, right? Because they're fucking degenerates. But at the end of the day, hey, Squad W is more powerful than ever, and they're pissing their pants. Hey, Squad W, boys.
But like right now, like there's some weird fucking incel-y shit going on, like in some of these gamer communities. Like not like incel, like LOL memes, but like people are using words like degenerate and like hedonistic, like this weird kind of fucking like actual black pill terminology that's starting to get thrown around.
Degenerate's a bad. I use degenerate against my viewers.
Not like like they're used in certain contexts when they're talking about like women or sexual behaviors.
Oh,
where it's like
no.
Very,
I call my viewers degenerates.
Weird. Yeah, sure. I know. I'm just saying, like in general, like those types of like conversations, those types of people are like starting to permeate more in the LSF crowd. Like it's pretty fucking crazy.
Really, LSF? I don't think. Dude, I thought LSF was more on the other side. Have you seen these recent posts? These guys are fucking like, dude. It sounds like these are the husbands. Like. Are you sure? Like, what LSF posts are you looking at?
I don't know. I agree with Destiny. I
really?
think it's definitely moving that direction.
Yeah, the last, like some that get posted,
like
there's like the normal ones where people are like, oh, like, you know, blah, 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 like fucking whores, whatever, which is normal, right? I'm used to gamers hating women. But like, there's some that are coming out now where people are taking this weird fucking shit where it's like this much more like, I don't know how to explain it without getting too political, but these people that are making these claims that these people are like actual like subhuman degenerate fucks that are like
to the point where LSF is locking threads.
Yeah, like, it's like really fucking weird.
Well, then those people those people are the degenerates. Those kids, listen, there are for sure incels roaming around Twitch. And sure, maybe there's hundreds in my community hidden, but I make it very clear. I know a lot of people that make assumptions of my community and me. They don't ever watch my stream. They see 30-second clips. You know, they'll cap this, they'll LW this. But at the end of the day, I make it very clear what I stand for, and that's why I bring on and platform my friends that fall into the category that some of the incels think I'm talking about. Like, I make it very clear that I don't like fuck around with that shit. So like,
when I ask you questions, I'm not always. Sometimes I'm trying to trap you because I think it'd be funny, but I'm not always trying to trap you. Like, oftentimes I just want you to clarify, just so that if there are people that are listening that might think you think a certain thing, that they like don't agree. Like. Or that they know that you don't agree. Like, for example, like, I don't think that there should be overtly sexual content on Twitch. That's actually something that I believe. But when I have that conversation, I know that I have to have it very fucking
responsibly.
Yeah. Because like when I used to tweet out things like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with like ultra sexual content on Twitch. Like I get these people tweeting, you know, in reply with like, hell yeah, get these fucking sluts off fucking Twitch, and then they're linking to like girls with like fucking like some cleavage or whatever. Like it's like insane. Shots like crazy, and it's like
suddenly people take your argument and they turn it into something you didn't even mean.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like my arguments that I think are generally pretty good are all of a sudden being used for like ammunition for like these crazy like black pill incel kids. And I was like, whoa, that is not like.
Yeah, I've actually learned. I've learned that I have to clarify that what I talk about is a very small percentage, like very small. Like I'd even say probably like I'd say 1% or less. Like I have to clarify that. I realize it because sometimes people think that I'm referring to every single fucking woman, and they're just fucking idiots or they're actual incels. So I make it very fucking clear in my personal streams, and my chat knows. They have fucking spams that say, "Train, we already know. Wrap it the fuck up, Domi. We don't give a fuck. Move on. They're fucking incels. Shut the fuck up." Like right, like so like. I make sure to go on it, and my chat gets pissed. But I definitely try my best to clean up the actual degenerates out of the chat, because I actually call the incels degenerates. I call them degenerates. So I was actually surprised you said degenerate's a bad word. I thought degenerate just meant
it's not always, but there's just like I don't know how to explain this, but like when you work in like a certain environment, or like as streamers, right? Like when we work as streamers, if you were out and about and you heard somebody use the word like influencer, like your mind would go to like, oh, this guy probably works like in industry. But it might just be a guy that's like, oh no, like somebody that's influential, LOL. Like they might just be using the word like innocuously. But sometimes when people use certain words, you can tell that they're from certain communities. Or like if you're out on the street and some guy, I can't think of a Twitch emote, like Pog or some shit. I don't know. Like if somebody says like a word like that, you know, like, oh, he's part of that community.
Yeah, Poggers, Fortnite, shit like that.
Yeah, just because you say like a certain word doesn't necessarily mean that you're part of a community. But like if you spend a lot of time in online communities, oftentimes, and everybody in chat knows this, especially if you go to like 4chan and Reddit, right? You can have somebody copy paste your messages, and you can tell very quickly based on the memes, like where does this come from? Is this a 4chan post or is it a Reddit post? Instantly you can tell just by the way that the people talk.
Only two things from my community you'll ever see. It's 4Weird or Squad W. Or Squad D, Squad R. Squad D's pretty much everywhere too, I think, right? Squad D. That's an ugly ass fucking emote. Jesus fucking Christ, that thing's ugly as hell, dude. But that's a great emote. Any Squad D's in chat, boys? Any domers? Yeah, that's a fucking ugly emote. Dude, just click over that one, dude. That is an ugly emote. Jesus, dude. What a good emote, dude. Great creation. You know, have you guys noticed the ugliest emotes are the best?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
Sure.
I guess.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it's important to remember when you're dealing with, incels on the internet or any community that seems, or just comments in general that are hateful or just, I don't know, off base. You never know who you're interacting with. This person could be 9 years old. They could be just completely idiotic, and I don't know. I think it's easy to get hung up on giving these people too much credit because it's easy to compare them to your own. Like, I don't know. It's easy to think of them just as the same as you, just another person, just like you with an opinion that maybe is a little off base. But in reality, they could be fucking anyone. Like, why? I don't know. Unless it's an actual mob, why do we even care? There's always going to be dumb people.
Yeah, well, I agree with that as well.
No, I totally disagree with that. Like,
really?
Even if it is a mob, like, we can direct conversations in ways. Like, that is just absolutely true. I don't spend as much time in the YouTube community, but even I know that people like iDubbbz will set the tone for how other content creators are treated. Or people that do, like, certain types of content or pieces on other content creators, whatever you say, that will reverberate throughout YouTube, sometimes indefinitely, sometimes forever. As content creators, like, we know that you get paid money by companies to encourage people to buy shit. We know that we're influential. We get paid for it.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about influencers. I'm talking about just comments. Like, I think influencers of course have responsibility.
Yeah, I think what Fitz is saying is he's saying that there will always be those people that no matter what you say, what tone you set, especially when you have a bigger audience, there's always going to be those people that are going to somehow fit the narrative to their delusion, and this works on both ends, right? This works on the end of people that don't like me, and this works on people that like me, right? I'm sure there's some incel watching that when I say I'm not an incel or I don't welcome incels in my community, they're saying, oh, he's just saying that to stay safe, right? Like
that's
true,
but
there's delusions that will always be formed no matter what we say.
But that's hand waving. Like, there are percentages that we could talk about. So, like, for instance, if I were to tell you, like, I'm done taking showers, I'm just gonna get fucking dirty again anyway, and I can't clean my whole body in the shower. Like, that's true. No one walks out of a shower 100% germ free, and you are gonna get dirty again, but you still fucking shower, right? No matter what I do, I'm gonna have some level of people in my community that are racist. I can't get rid of every fucking race in my community, but if I come on every single day and I make Indian jokes and black jokes and blah blah blah, like every single fucking day, the percentage of those people is gonna be way fucking higher. Just because there are always going to be stupid people doesn't mean that you ought to encourage the stupidity and pretend that the percentage of stupid people in your audience is going to be the same no matter what. That's what I would say.
I'm not saying you shouldn't ban people in your chat or anything like that, but it's just I think we have to accept that to a certain extent people are just going to believe what they want to believe and hear what they want to hear, and you can't get like overly caught up on it, because and just do what you do by setting an example that and represents you well.
And to be fair, like on my Twitter, for example, like, let's not only point out the bad. I mean, there was a situation where I think we actually probably saved someone's career/life, like by stepping up and standing up for them in a situation where usually on the internet, especially on Twitter, Twitch, and especially in different communities that are talking against exactly what we're talking about now, this guy would be fucked. He'd be ruined. He'd be totally destroyed. So I think, like, I just think what I argue for and what I fight for is completely misconstrued and people are misinformed. And I think they're doing more damage than they would claim I'm doing by constantly making memes and saying I'm actually an incel preaching this and that, right? Like, I think they're doing more damage than I am. And that's my honest fucking opinion. Like, if there's 10 streamers that hate me that say this guy's talking about this, that's going to attract those people in their chat to come to me. And if anything, they're welcoming more hateful people than I am. So at the end of the day, like, it's a collective thing. If somebody
makes like a legitimate complaint, and there are legitimate complaints to be made, and people are just like incel, virgin, incel, whatever. Yeah, I agree with you that does cause a harm, sure. But I think there can be responsibility on all sides.
Are you also talking about the sort of useful idiot principle of like how people will use people as a sounding board for like their ideas if they kind of like align too much?
Yeah, that gets like a little bit more complicated. But yeah, my biggest problem is when you hand wave responsibility, it's very easy for you to be an unwitting fool for another party that's using you to kind of like spread like really fucked up or hateful messages without you really knowing about it. Like a good example of this is, have you guys ever heard of something called Friend World?
No, what's that?
So there's like these comics with like these, is it Pepega or Pepe? I don't know, one of the fucking frog or clown dudes, or it's a clown guy. I don't know his fucking name. But like, that's like it looks like innocent enough and it's funny. And like the comics are usually like pretty cute and they're like drawn well or whatever. But like, it's actually like literal Nazi comics. Like if you read into the things, you start finding like, oh, like the long noses, those are Jewish people. Like there's like, it's like really fucking crazy shit. And it's really easy to get caught up in like spreading shit like that without being aware of it. And then when people point it out, like, hey, like maybe you should be like a little bit more careful. It's a little bit bad to be like, oh, oh, well, you know, there's always going to be dumb people, like, fuck it. Especially when you have literally people shooting up places now, you know, that are referencing like PewDiePie like multiple times and stuff. Like, it's probably okay to take a look at what's going on to make sure you're, you know, having some kind of responsibility with your messaging, I think.
Yeah. Like I said, just to reiterate before we move on to a more joyful topic, I don't really like I said, I support, there's a lot of streamers I support that I think many people would think goes against what I say, but it's just their misinformation and ignorance. I don't care if someone's getting a lot of viewers that, you know, is using their tits or whatever the fuck. Like, I don't care about that. Like, as long, I just give a fuck about this entire, like, 2019 thing being milked and it being used to ruin people and being used as power moves. Like, there is such thing as toxic feminism, and there's such thing as like extreme. And I think movements are being manipulated and used to destroy people, and in a strive for more power versus equality. Like, I actually support feminism. Feminism is for actual equality, but I think there's a side that's literally manipulating the platform, and they're going for power, and they're going to destroy anyone they can for their own attention and own self gain. And I don't care how small of a percentage that is. That's what I go for, and that's what I fight for on Twitter and everywhere else. And
to be really clear, Wubby, like you know what the response you're going to get from these tweets. It's not the first time that you've done something.
No. Yeah, I wasn't. To be clear, I wasn't saying I wouldn't get negative feedback, but this, at least on the scale that I'm used to dealing with on Twitter, this blew up for me, and I was prepared for people to be frustrated with it. But the one that really made my jaw drop was one of the biggest retweeted ones with like almost 20K likes on it, was someone accusing me of being racist because of what I said in that tweet, and then invalidating what I had to say because I was white. And that's where my jaw hit the floor. My manager as well, who's also who's a woman but also white, was just invalidated by one of the largest retweets of this because she's white. That's kind of where I wasn't prepared for it.
That's what I'm talking about.
The tweet.
I can post it too. I saw it. It's just like, you gotta pick. Like, if you noticed, I don't know if you noticed, if you look at your tweet and my like retweet, there aren't very many people that like were upset about it, because I think they knew what I was talking about, and this wasn't some attack against women like Destin earlier brought up that it could look like, right? Like, I think they knew. No one really said anything, but yours, like, the effect might be misconstrued that way, but I still think it's a jump to say you hate all women. I think it's just such a ridiculous jump, and I think it's milking it. Like, I think it's so fucking dumb. And if you notice, there's never any argument. It's just, you hate all women, you're an incel, you're a misogynist, fucking die. Like, that's literally all the response that can be given. There's never a fucking...
not to interrupt, but it's also, and this is something that I don't typically hear being said, it's an insult to every woman I work with, every woman that I'm friends with, it's just an insult to them. You're saying that they would allow themselves to be friends with this guy who is racist. He hates women. They're sitting there with their hands up like, are you fucking kidding me?
Listen, that tweet I might have changed and edited a little bit, but what you just said right there, dude, maybe Destiny can get on this. I don't know. But I don't understand. Listen, okay. This is how you know that this is being milked and it's being manipulated. Here's how you know. I'm going to tell you right now, and if anyone disagrees, let me know. If you're a woman and you agree that there's some shit online that maybe shouldn't be there or it's too far, all of a sudden you are disavowed, disowned. You are a disgrace to the female kind. You are disgusting. You are just, how could you turn against us? What? So what is this? Is this actually fighting for equality? Because if it is, you should be respecting her opinion, even if it differs from yours. Not bashing her. That is literally manipulation of power and saying you're fighting for one thing, and when in reality you're fighting for something entirely different. Like, that itself proves what I'm talking about. And no one sees that.
Oh, can I ask, what was your objective in making that tweet?
Let me go to the bathroom.
What did you want to accomplish?
Sure. I mean, and this, you're not going to like this answer, and I'm sure a lot of people won't like it. My tweets, for the most part, I go on Twitter for really a few reasons. One of the main ones is to cancel my stream. Let's go. And then the other one is just to, if you're following me, just to make you laugh. I wasn't intending, like, what would be the point of that tweet? Like, is it going to cause a movement? I didn't at Twitch. I didn't say, yo, retweet, this is crazy. I just thought it was funny, and I thought it was ridiculous. I don't know if you've seen the tweet. what the girl on the left was wearing. I was baited by it. I was initially told, like, guess the website this is on, right? I was wrong. I thought it was Chatterbait. I'm going to be super real. When it was revealed to me that it was Twitch, I thought that was funny. I was like, the bait is real. I'm going to tweet this out because maybe people will also find it funny who follow me. So there wasn't really, I wasn't sitting here and I maybe this is, I will take responsibility for not thinking a tweet through as far as it's going to be a movement and you need to pick a side. But in that moment, I was just like, oh, this will be funny to people who.
I mean, I thought it was funny, so you made me laugh.
Why should you have to be that careful in the first place, though? You're just trying to make people laugh, right?
Well, so let's say that you were to tweet out that you think that we should like kill all black people.
Dude, that is ridiculous.
I know, no. Follow me on this.
No, I am not following you on shit. That's ridiculous.
It's a simple, it's a simple question with a simple answer.
Stop. That's not what I meant.
Okay, so everybody here would say that's not acceptable. It's not comparable. Blah, 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 which I agree. It's not the same type of thing. But if I were to respond with, well, my goal from the tweet is just to make people laugh, what you would respond with is, well, there's a certain level of harm that's being caused here that probably supersedes its intention to be humorous.
You're smart enough to make an example, not that extreme.
Well, no, we make an extreme example.
He makes an extreme example to show.
It's proving the point. The point is that
I'll respond to it. I can respond to it. And to that, I think the only response I have is it goes back to like when you watch a stand-up comedian special. I think anyone could sit there and argue what they're saying is more harmful, but I mean, I guess lucky for us, enough people find it funny, so we say it's okay. I don't really have a solution or an answer to that, but you could make that very argument for most famous comedians, most of anybody.
The only reason I think your post had an issue.
Hold on. So history doesn't side well with us here. You could make that same argument with comedians. Comedians don't disagree with that, though. Right? Comedians like Chris Rock, comedians like Dave Chappelle have gone on record saying that there are certain types of skits and jokes that they've done that they now regret doing because of the impact that they had. So if we want to cite comedians as examples of people who are like these untouchable comedy gods that can make whatever jokes they want, even the comedians themselves wouldn't agree with that and had differing ideas for how to approach types of humor, especially humor related to like race or LGBT issues.
Doesn't it the solution to use another extreme example? Is the solution to just not make jokes?
No, I don't agree.
Well, that's just because they regret making the jokes doesn't mean that they shouldn't.
And I know you don't feel that way, Dustin. I know you wouldn't say don't make jokes, but that's where my mind goes as someone who's going to respond with an extreme. Okay, so then we just don't want to take risks in comedy. Just everybody sit there. We'll all do the same, thing on Twitch. Nobody make any risk because.
Okay, well, hold on. Well, like, there's a million different ways that we can go with this argument, but like what you just said is hilarious. Like, take risks with comedy. Like, LOL, there are people on Twitch that dress like whores. Like, this is not the edgiest kinds of jokes you can make. Like, this is like pretty easy. This is like LSF comment here.
The risk thing was not defending my tweet. The risk comment I just made was in reference to the comedians that you said have backed down. For example, Chris Rock, I forget the name of the special in the 1980s, where he is outspokenly racist towards many different kinds of people. Should that have just never come out? And then so on. Should Louis C.K. not exist because a lot of his jokes, some words we can't say on Twitch, should that just have not come out? Like, what's the solution here then? That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah. So the solution, I mean, like, we would have to go into like a whole thing for like how we decide like what types of humor we want to build or what types of humor are responsible forms of humor to engage in, which everyone in here I think agrees that there are irresponsible forms of humor to engage in, because nobody seemed to be okay with me tweeting out that we should kill all black people as a joke, right? Because that's not responsible. So I think it's good to just find like a line. Maybe that's something to think about, or for people to personally consider, like, what am I comfortable joking about and what am I not comfortable? And if you're not comfortable joking about, saying you want to kill all black people, but you are comfortable joking about implying that every woman on Just Chatting is a slut, maybe that's something to think about. Like, well, why am I comfortable constantly saying that women on Twitch are sluts? Like,
have you seen the tweet, Destiny? Because the tweet, although it used them as a tool, it was used to make fun of Twitch. The entire tweet was to poke fun. And I know you don't want to hear this word consistency, but that was the intent.
Here's the problem.
But wait. The tweet's not making fun of Twitch. The tweet is making fun of women that dress with lots of cleavage. Like the woman on the right in your tweet isn't.
Yeah. That's right. See, I was gonna say, please let me get this in real quick, okay? So Destiny's running that. So I was gonna say, so earlier I was telling you fall into traps. That right picture, it doesn't belong in that post in any context, anything whatsoever. That right picture, like, that's the ammo you've given, and that's the trap that you fell into. That right picture even when I look at it, even when I look at that, I can't find a way to make that into a joke because she's dressed like she's dressed like a nun.
I agree.
No,
If
but so
I
she
wore
wasn't
that
put in
shirt,
there.
I
She
wouldn't
wasn't.
look as sexual
She
or, like,
wasn't put in there for that reason. She was put in there to bait you into.
I
Because
have-
the original tweet was to say one of these is chatterbait, one of them isn't. That she was put in there to bait you. And also, the other thing I found funny about hers was her sub goal. Sub goal is just stand up and dance. I just thought it was funny. And I mean, what more can I say? I don't think that.
Well, I think the issue is that people might think that you're hiding a misogynist agenda behind the guise of comedy. And to me, I think it's kind of easy how.
But that argument can be made about
Yes,
most
Wubby.
comedy
Yeah.
Then.
Well, like I said,
Followers you have.
I don't want to.
Also, I
different
feel like a
than
lot of
most
people here
us.
don't know.
I don't want to gang. Yeah.
A lot of people here don't know who I am, at least in this room alone. And that if you've been to my YouTube channel, it's not women who are getting roasted. It's anything that I find funny, and it seemed to have worked out.
Yeah, let's be very careful what we do here, okay? So even if we disagree with the right picture, let's not like, because we're getting to dangerous time where we're putting him in the corner. I've been there myself. I don't want to like give this thing up where we're backing him in this corner and he is this, like, be very careful, all of you. Like, I don't like that kind of shit at all.
This topic is so boring.
Listen, you're fucking 20 years old. You're 20 years old. You're going to the pub for your birthday. Don't talk to me about boring, okay, Emily?
Fuck, dude.
I hate
Talk about
that.
something that Emily
It's the
likes.
same
Sorry, guys.
shit
What do you think about
every
Fortnite and
fucking-
Baby Yoda?
Well,
It's
hold
the
on.
same.
Kids
Okay,
are out. Who gives a fuck? Stop giving attention
Emily,
to
Emily,
it.
listen.
No, come
Emily.
on, Emily. No,
Hold on.
come on.
That's such
Oh,
it's a chat. That's a chat form one. Two. As soon as you go on that road, Emily, here's what happens. We're on Twitch. These are topics of Twitch relevant. It's gonna become a thing. No topics of Twitch. And here's proof to why every single time someone says anything that you say, I've made Reddit posts for all these kids, these political Andes, these memers, these non-memers, these serious people, these take life too seriously people. All of them come back to me with political Twitch topics, titty streamers, and all kinds of shit. All of them. Everyone complains about same talk boring, but we're on Twitch. This is Twitch. This is literally Twitch.
But I feel like there's so much more, and like you're like, I don't know how to describe or articulate it. It's just like, yeah, humor's subjective, cool. Like, Wubby, your post is, yeah, funny to some people, sure. But like, I don't know. It's just like we're talking about it so fucking much. I feel like.
I hate what you did, Emily. I really do. It's such an easy chat farm. It is the biggest pet peeve I have as a host. It is so rude, unbelievably so.
But you're still good.
I understand. It's totally cool.
You're still
but
good, okay?
I never get to be a guest when somebody does this, but
It's awkward. Yeah. Be very careful.
it's awkward because poor Train is pouring his heart out in a topic.
No,
He's trying to
Train's
keep the chat
sick.
engaged,
He's a sick
and then
cunt.
you turn the entire audience on him in a second. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I'm used to that. It's fine. Emily, we're cool. I like you. Don't worry. We're still gonna do that. We're still gonna do that stream for charity together. Don't worry. You're still invited. I'm not mad in that way. Don't worry about it. Okay.
Emily, I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not.
No, Raj is right.
no.
Raj is right. Maybe that wasn't your intention. That's fine. But at the end of the day, like, here's the thing. Okay. Let's be careful with Kotaku. You're entitled to your opinion. You're completely right. We should completely move on. You're empowering. You're right. That was very strong of you to do that and stand up against 8 men. You're completely right. Let's be careful. I don't want to get partnership
So
stripped.
why are we okay with this joke that Train's making? That's pretty misogynistically based. I don't agree. I think it's fine.
Here we go again.
No, I'm saying that I think it's what he just said to me was funny, and I agree with that. He should be able to say it, right?
Because me and Emily
You're
are
right. You're right, but it's like it's a very here we go.
That's the jump. No, he's not right. Those are the jumps that make me do what I do. Those are the jumps. Like, me and Emily are friends, and I can make those jokes to her. If this was a random stranger, like, I wouldn't make that joke. Same with Fandy. Like, I can make any joke I want with Fandy, right? Like, if you want to argue the effect of these things, like, I will, like, here's the problem with arguing these effects like Destiny was just giving you. Okay, realistically, the reason that have you noticed the only effect we care about is racism or sexism? Like, that's the only effect we talk about. But when these political streamers go on there and talk about the right and the left and different presidential candidates and what people should think, vote for, how they should operate, like, these effects don't matter. The entire other 50% of the country doesn't matter. Like, everything. No, because no one censors themselves in any other category. It's only singular topics that are the biggest juice milkers that are talked about responsibly, right? Like, I see every political stream talks about shit that literally the effect of it is fuck all right wingers, fuck all Republicans. That is literally almost every political stream on Twitch, correct? Like,
Sure.
but
And
no
you
one
can
talks
have-
about
you
that
can have a
effect.
discussion. Well, you can be the one that talks. I talk about that sometimes. Those are things that we talk about. I talk about
I'm
that a
just
lot
saying-
with Mike and Hassan, actually. I say a lot that you guys are really bad at communicating with people on the right because of how dismissive you are. But the thing is that what you talk about or what you should or shouldn't joke about or whatever is going to be different in different communities, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense to walk into like a woman's like fucking gym or whatever and be like, hey, no misogyny here. Let's talk about this. Like, it wouldn't make sense in that environment, right? Because it's not really something they probably
Yeah, but I don't hear it in their environments. That's the point I'm
but
making.
on Twitch, that's a big thing that we hear, right? Misogyny and hatred against women and shit is a big thing that we deal with on Twitch because it's a heavily male-dominated platform. Or at the very least, even if you don't agree that we deal with it, you must agree that there's a perception of it by some people. So that's why
Okay.
it's discussed here, right?
Can I
But like,
say
we're not
something?
going to talk as much about
I
like,
just-
political stuff because yes,
I just,
Can I just say something?
yes.
Train, this is your stream, your podcast, you're a star of, so you too can talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But I think for everyone else here, like, what do you want to do on this podcast? You want to talk about this topic for the next 3 hours? It's 2
Okay.
a.m.
All right, then someone else give me a topic. That's fine. To wrap up and close this topic. Like I said, I understood Wubby. I think your joke was good. The picture on the right, I don't think if the picture on the right was Chatterbait, it would have been even fucking funnier, right? Because she was like she was dressed normally, it didn't matter, and the picture on the left was literally minimal. That would have been fucking hilarious, right? And that's what I thought it was originally. But realistically, just don't be very careful what traps you fall into because it gives ammo to a side that you aren't even fighting against. But for some reason, they make everything you say becomes about that. It just so
And
be
I think
very
I
very
learned that
careful.
today. I learned that.
Yeah,
today.
be very very careful. Trust
a
me.
throwaway joke made me a racist who hates women. Even
And
here,
sexist.
I heard it creep up like.
Yeah,
it is misogynistic. It's like
be
that's
careful.
incredibly insulting, and it insults a lot of women in my life, and it's pretty fucked up to say off of an offhand. Albeit it doesn't have to be funny, just a joke. People
You've got to be very
really-
careful. That's all.
People need to get the stick out of their ass. I'm gonna be super real here. Not just
I
in
agree.
general. It's ridiculous.
I also want
I
to say
com-
I'm too dumb to follow all of the words being said.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just like all my advice is, like I said, be very careful. The picture on the right wasn't
No,
bad.
you're right.
Be careful.
It is bait
Yeah.
for these people.
It's bait. Yeah, that's
You're
just
totally
be careful
right.
with traps.
And
Yeah.
I saw them come out. They came out of the floor.
Yeah, that's why I'm very careful. Like even today, as you saw, Destiny brought up. Like I was like even that tweet I made, I was very like I stayed like very broad, right? Like I just made a point that stop milking this shit, right? Like because it's like half the shit that's being talked about that people go through. Listen, like I don't like. Listen, I don't know if you've been in my chat. I don't know if you've been in Lakari's. I don't know if you've been in almost every fucking streamer's chat. Like the only streamer's chats that these aren't in are the ones that have mods or bots banning it instantly. Half the shit that people are saying that specific people are going through only, no, it's the entire gaming world. It's every fucking streamer on the fucking platform. And like certain things are just being milked to the fucking brink. And if you want to fucking say that I'm exaggerating, I'm not. It's just being milked. So like that's why I make my tweets like very simple, clean, broad. Be very careful of the traps, and that's my advice to you. But anyway, and when I say traps, I'm referring to like trap set, not like, you know. Okay, anyways, let's move on. And Emily, we're cool. Hey, go Australia. I'll see you next week for the charity stream. But anyways,
Emily, no hard feelings.
yeah.
No, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like we're milking it by talking about it so fucking much. Like we're just like, you know what I mean? I don't
Devin,
know.
please save us.
We're the ones milking it.
We're not milking it because it just happened again.
Set them off.
Emily,
That's the
I don't
problem.
think- Emily, has you?
I'm not on my same energy level, man. I'm sick as
The-
fuck.
listen-
Emily, I
Oh,
feel
you're
like
sick?
Emily, I feel
Yeah.
like you would
I'm
care
horribly
more.
sick. Yeah.
You would care
I'm
more
sorry to
if
hear
you
that.
were targeted by like when people insult you
don't
for
try.
something specific. I feel like you care about what's relevant to you, and this may not be relevant to you, but to sit here and act like, why is it relevant to you guys? Because it is.
No,
it has to
it's
do with these
definitely
words.
relevant. Obviously,
I think she's just trying to say the topic is played out.
Yes, the
Yeah,
topic. The topic.
sure,
Yes, she's right. The topic is played out, but word
And it's
choice.
what are we gonna accomplish off of this from now on?
We're
Pretty much
talking
nothing.
because listen. Okay, it's this simple. Okay, I'll answer it to you guys. It's very simple. You can sigh all you fucking want, but when Robbie makes that post, okay, regardless if he was right or wrong, and it goes over 40, 50K fucking retweets in total of calling him a racist, misogynist, I'm going to cover it. If you don't like it, leave my channel. You can leave the show right now. I have no hard feelings. I'll replace you. Like, I'm getting sick of this. Listen, if this was anyone else, if this was a woman, if this was anyone else that was being accused of fucking anything remotely that could be reputation ruining, it'd be a topic every single day, not only on fucking Twitch, on the news, everywhere. He literally, I don't give a fuck if he made a mistake. I know he's not a sexist or misogynist. And to have 50K retweets and 50K likes of saying that he is, I will bring it up to this podcast because it happened yesterday. If he deserves it, that's your own opinion. I will bring it up. This whole idea of being this whole
retweets.
all together with everyone's. Don't say it's not trending. Oh man, you guys, it's insane. Listen, you sound like every single person I've met on Twitch that tells me, oh yeah, no, I don't think you're right, Train. And then 2 weeks later, it happens to them. Holy fuck, this is actually happening. Like, just because it's not happening to you and you're safe in the clear, that's fine. But you don't know how Wubby's feeling. How do you know how Wubby's feeling?
Train, stop for a second. The point isn't not to have discussion. The point is the discussion has been an hour, brother. It's been an hour because we went on tangents that had nothing to do with Wubby. I brought the topic. The same thing.
No, oh my God, you guys!
It's not that this shouldn't be discussed. That we're not making any productive conversation.
That's what I was trying to get at.
We're not so like a good productive conversation is A, B, C, D. We come to some realization. Okay, the point is not the discussion is important. I'm not trying to say it's not. I'm saying that eventually it becomes cyclical and nothing happens. If we should establish what we're trying to accomplish.
Yes, you're right. You're all right about that.
I'm acknowledging you. I understand.
We went off.
I agree.
We went off on a tangent because me and Destiny decided to have a fucking midnight conversation together for 2 hours. The Wubby topic went on for maybe 35 minutes max. Me and Destiny went on a topic that we went on together.
This is so meta right now. We're
7 fucking hours.
We're arguing about wasting time. We're spending time arguing about whether or not we're wasting time. That's how meta this conversation has gotten, by the way.
Listen,
we got meta when she said that we were milking this topic for a conversation, and now we're milking the milking of it for conversation.
It's not even. Listen, oh man, Wubby, listen, dude, just listen to what I said. Ignore these fucking jackasses. All right, let's move on. Okay, next topic.
Please.
Be careful of the traps. Just trust me. Anyways. Okay, next topic. Let's have Emily, Dyrus, and Devin take over the next topic, since this one was too boring.
God, I love this Train. I know exactly how you're feeling.
So passive aggressive, dude. I'm not gonna fucking do your next topic. Fuck off with that shit.
Oh, okay. So I bring up a topic, you shut it down, and now I'm being passive aggressive. Asking,
you're being passive aggressive. Oh, Devin, like, why don't you bring up the best topic since the other one was not good enough?
Yeah, Emily, Dyrus, and Devin.
I acknowledge that your topic was fine, and we need to discuss it.
Okay,
then for a fact that I acknowledge it. Do not play me that bad. I didn't come from Shadow and Fire to listen to this bullshit. Almost die 2 weeks ago for this shit, dude. Fuck that. That was not very good.
Okay, so you acknowledge the topic was necessary. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, then Dyrus and Emily, please go ahead and give us a topic to talk about that is not milked out. Please, on Twitch.tv, let's hear about this. Should we talk about League of Legends? Should we talk about games? What do you want to talk about? Let's go.
I'm ready.
World War III, huh?
That's just that's so stupid.
Wait, are we talking about the Iranian guy that was assassinated by the United States?
You want to talk about war and politics?
I don't fucking know.
See, this is typical. Listen. This is literally
She's Twitch chat right now, Train.
No, she is literally you, Emily. I like you, but you're literally Twitch chat. You literally just told me talking on titty streamers is bad, and you brought up politics. Like, this is literally typical Twitch chat. It's insane.
I wasn't saying don't talk about it. I'm saying you go ahead and talk about it. I think it's entertaining as fuck.
She's trying to be slippery, Train. You got to give it to her.
But then the next topic you want to talk about is politics?
She doesn't want to bring up she wasn't want to bring up a topic, Train, because she's too scared to accept the responsibility of it being a bad topic.
Shut up,
but
Destiny.
She's going to criticize yours. Are you going to let her get away with that, Train?
I'm going to come to your house and fucking stick my dick in your ass. Destiny. I'm coming to your house, Destiny. I'm talking to you, Destiny. I'm coming to your house, Destiny. I'm going to stick my dick in your ass while you stick yours in mine. That's that simple. So be ready, dude. We're going to have a little, I don't know how the fuck that's going to work. I hope your dick's long enough to wrap around my fucking goddamn cooch.
We're going to cartweel around while we...
Yeah, I hope your dick's fucking long enough to wrap around my fucking ass and go inside, because we're doing it. If you keep this behavior up...
Would you guys rather be able to be invisible for an hour every day or teleport?
If I'm invisible, do I have to deal with this podcast?
Oh, here we go. Falling into the memes. Deal with the
now
podcast.
Devin's doing it. Even after Devin wouldn't give a topic, Train. Why are you letting him get away with it?
I make the topics, asshole, okay?
Guys, who would win?
Devin, do you want me to read off the topics for you?
Tarkov.
Yeah, well, Dyrus, you got to bring up a topic now because Trainwreck wants you or Emily to do it.
Yep.
All right.
Let's hear it.
I'm trying to, get everyone else involved. It's not my job. I don't want to say anything. I want to just sit here and be the guy who says nothing.
Oh, interesting. That's very interesting here. Very interesting. Okay.
because usually
This podcast
you
is
bring
great.
on people onto the podcast because it's like, you know, we're all cool, right?
Yeah.
We're all.
Yes.
You want to hear what other people think?
Yes.
Man, you're enjoying this, me doing this. All right,
I
so
am. It's actually pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm actually liking it because it's actually cute.
okay,
And by the way, I like your haircut and I like you shaved. Always freshly shaved.
thank you.
No problem.
So
Bye, Devin.
on the script, Escape from Tarkov explodes in popularity due to drops on Twitch.
What did you say, Devin? I'll let go when you say sorry. I'm just kidding. Okay,
Wait,
go ahead.
what?
Here's what people don't realize. If there's no listen, if people don't disagree and like have those disagreements and times, like it's not fun. If it just becomes an echo chamber of trash, it's just boring, dude. So like I think it's fun to have different people with different ideas, you know, that are proud on what they believe and, you know, can argue and then at the end of it come together as one. Right? It gets weird when they can't come together, but in this podcast they always come back together and we get to even more fun of topics.